Hi guys, I have with me here in the studio an amazing friend of mine. This guy, we've been friends for over a decade, and I must tell you, he's a solid guy. He's intelligent, he's smart, and he's one of those people that I run to when I have an idea to execute. We've worked on several projects together, and the projects have gone on to become successful. Please make welcome to the show, D. Matthew Fields. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
How does it feel to be the first person on the show?
Well, I mean, when I got the call that I was going to be the first person on the show, I was a little bit nervous, because, I mean, to start a show, I mean, we set the precedent, for other guests that are going to come. So I was quite nervous, but then I was like, okay, this is a huge opportunity for me to be able to talk about myself, what I do, my background, because there are a lot of people that are going to learn from this. And also because you called and I have to answer. So yeah, I'm really glad to be here.
Thank you. I'm so honored to have you here. So my viewers and I would like to get to know better about you. So let's start with your full government name and how growing up was like for you.
Okay, my name is Matthew Odedele. Yeah, that's the name that I was given, but people know me as Matthew Fields. Yeah, and Fields is an acronym for putting harmony into lost souls. It's not Philip like people usually think.
Really?
Yeah, putting harmony into lost souls. So it's an acronym, not a short form for Philip. So that's my name.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I was born and bred in Lagos. I was born in, I don't know if you know this place, Igondo.
Igondo, yes,
Yeah.
I read about Igondo.
Yeah, that's where I grew up, and my primary, secondary school, that is where I did my primary and secondary education before I then moved to K-12, to my aunt's place, to further my studies, and then since then, we've been moving, and it has been a great. I would not have it any other way, because we all have stories, that led to where we are today.
Yeah.
You understand? And I know that as time goes on, we're going to get into some of those stories. But yeah, so born and raised in Lagos State, and then and I'm also an HND graduate from Yaba College of Technology, where I study computer science. Yeah, and I think
Yaba the Great.
Yeah, Yaba the Great.
Thank you so much for that. So let's talk about your most favorable moment as an adult.
Okay, so my favorite moment as an adult, I grew up pretty quickly. I mean, as do so many people, especially if you live in this country. I think fresh out of secondary school. Okay, backstory. My mom passed when I was 16. I was in secondary school SS3 at that time, and then it was a tough moment. You understand? And it was a really tough moment. But then I just knew that I had to step into adulthood fast, because there's nobody except God. That how people always talk that, don't worry, I will do this. Yeah, I know your mommy is not around. I will do this for you. I will do that. But I had the knowledge that at that time nobody except God is coming to help me. So I grew up pretty fast. So I'll say that my favorite moment as an adult was when I was able to, get my first apartment.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. It was, I never thought that I would get to that point where I would start living alone. You see people do this, and sometimes like this thing is hard. Like to get finances crazy. The things that I do is not like I was really making so much from it, but to be able to put those things together and get an apartment at that time, it was not something that was feasible, but it happened.
When was this?
This was around 2017, 2018, I think. Yes, 2017, 2018. Then so I was just like, dude, you just need to be on your own at this point. And then getting an apartment was a start of another chapter for me. I've been responsible, but that came with a whole other responsibility
Responsibility.
in itself, and it was a good thing to be able to do that at that point.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting. Thank you for that answer. So let's go on to talk about your career. You're creative. Everybody knows. I mean, who doesn't know Matthew is in Lagos? That you are a personal brand photographer. How
Yeah.
did you, come into this career?
I think it started in after my ND.
Okay.
After I did my ND in Yaba Tech. So in my church, we usually have a skill acquisition program
All right.
that we run there, and then cinematography was a thing that that was being taught at that point. So I was part of the students of that class. I was learning, and at some point I just started taking pictures with my phone with the knowledge that I've gotten from that class. I mean, I didn't later venture into cinematography, but photography was something that I just caught my attention. Just taking pictures, nature, trees and all of that. And people started saying, these pictures are fine and all that. Then I was like, okay, maybe there is something worth looking into. I mean, maybe it's something worth looking into. Then I just started, learning, going on YouTube to learn some new stuff. Borrow church camera to take pictures. Use my friends as models, and all of that.
I can testify to
Yes.
that.
So then that's just how it started. I just, at that point, I was doing everything. I would do beauty, I would do fashion photography, I would shoot weddings, and all of that. But in 2023, I took a picture of a friend of mine who is a client, and it was a personal brand picture. I took it, and the feedback I got was really great. And at that point, it was like I heard a loud voice that told me that this is the niche that you should
Venture into.
venture into. And since then I started doing personal branding photography. I went to another organization to intern to learn some of those, how it is done, learn the marketing part of it and all of that. And so it has been great. So that's how I ventured into photography, then into personal branding photography. I just want to help people to create a visual narrative that will help them stand out wherever they are, a unique identity, something that actually shows that this is who they are. When they see themselves in that picture, they'll be like, this is who I actually intend to become. So giving them like a glimpse into their future.
Interesting.
And then, and since then,
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's such an amazing answer. So let's talk about the hiccups and the ugly parts that is faced within the creative industry. As a creative, what are some of the things that you've been faced with, or the things that you wish you could change in this industry?
Wow, that's a very good question. Hiccups. Every creative will testify that when they were starting out, one of the problems is getting clients. They'll testify that one of the problems is getting clients because, all creative, it started as a passion. And what we don't know at that point is that there is difference in having a passion and monetizing your passion, making your passion profitable. So at that point, it was not easy to get clients. We're just taking pictures, and hope that somebody will call us to photograph them. And then when they come, they start pricing you like
Fish.
10,000, 5,000, and all of that. So it was crazy. But as I grew in the industry and as I grew up as well, I began to know that there are things that needed to be done. If I really want to be successful in the industry, I can't keep doing what I was doing. I have to learn, and so I go for workshops. I paid for courses, marketing courses.
Invest in yourself.
Yes, invest in myself. At the point, it looked like, man, these courses are expensive, because the truth is that that if you don't invest in yourself, man, nobody will. You know, there are free courses, of course, you know, but then when you also pay for some things, you will know that you will know the
difference
yes,
and the
the
impact.
difference, and you'll be able to see better results, you know, as well. So I was able to do that, and I mean, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm not where I used to be. I have different knowledge, different insights, you know, in as regards that that area. You know, what's the second question again?
You've actually answered the question.
I've answered it in two,
yes,
right?
you have.
Okay, so yeah, basically that's just it. You know, investing in yourself. Yeah, and truth is that you cannot overinvest.
I agree.
In yourself.
So Matthew, have you ever had a difficult client? If yes, how did you handle the situation?
Man, that's a yeah. I think at one point or the other in our business, you know, I mean, irrespective of the business, there will be one, you know,
that client.
Yes, there'll be that client. So yeah, I've worked with difficult clients, and you know one thing about difficult clients, they give you the most stress. They give you the most stress. Like you would photograph them. They're the one that will be taking you back and forth. You know, I just don't want to spill the beans here, but But anyways, yes, I've had difficult clients, and what I do is I get to know my clients beforehand. You know, we have this consultation calls, you know, where we talked about their visions and all of that. The thing is that when you are able to get into the mind of your clients, you know the kind of person that they are, and as a result of that, you know how to relate with them. Even those clients that seemingly look very difficult, all you just have to do is just have to make them be at ease. Because if they are being difficult and you are also being difficult, it's going to clash and it's going to affect the results or even the process of the work. Do you understand? So it's true that sometimes they say that customers are always right, but there are exceptions though, but mostly you have to do what your customer wants. Do you understand? Yes. So in this, our line of business, it's not because we condone rubbish. You understand? We don't condone rubbish, but we also know what we are looking for and the end game. Result. Do you understand? So we make them feel at ease. We talk to them. What do you want? How can we make this seamless, you know, for you? And when we can achieve that, everything will just go very, very smoothly. Do you understand? Sometimes it's just temperaments. We have different temperaments. So when we understand, you know, each other and just make sure that this thing we're able to do it successfully, you know, then every other thing will be fine. So there are those kind of clients, but by God's grace, God gave us wisdom, you know, to be able to handle those kind of clients.
Wow, you're such a professional.
I try.
Thank you for answering that question.
Thank you.
So my next question, how do you make clients who feel less confident on camera, how do you make them come strongly across camera? For example, someone like me, I don't like taking pictures because I feel like I'm not photogenic. But when I take pictures, you know, it's usually comes out great in the end. So how do you as a photographer, how do you deal with clients that feel like, oh no, I'm not photogenic, oh, I'm not confident? How do you help them, you know, feel at ease and then eventually stay to take pictures?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, in that aspect, you know, remember I said that we do these consultation calls and we get into the minds of our clients and all of that. So when we are able to converse with our clients, we'll know where they are. We know where they are lacking. We know the things that we need to do to be able to measure up to whatever they are feeling at that moment. You know, the vision of the Matthew Studios is to be able to create a visual narrative that will project my client's unique identity. So no matter who you are not confident, you are this one, that one, we would make sure to to let you know that you are royalty, irrespective of who you are. Do you understand?
That's beautiful.
Do you understand? You are royalty. Whether you are the CEO of a bank or you are an entrepreneur that is just starting, we make you feel like you also deserve to have a good picture. You deserve to see yourself in a new light. Do you understand? So once we are able to achieve that, it now transcends into our sessions. Even when we are taking pictures, that time that they're not feeling convenient, we strike conversations, we talk. We don't just let it be, let's just take picture, and all of that. So we strike conversation, they ease into it. That confidence begins to come back. We ask questions. We talk to them. Intimate, questions that make them just lose whatever guard that they have or wall that they have put up. Do you understand? And as a result of that, you just see that everything just goes seamlessly. Do you understand? So that's how it is. But once you are saying, let's just take picture and go, you won't be able to get the perfect image that you want to get of that person. Do you understand? So you need to be able to talk to them, ease them into the process, and then let them know. Recently, I also ventured into doing remote photography.
Wow, tell me about it.
I do remote photography where I don't see my clients, like face to face.
How does that work?
So wherever you are in the world, I can take a picture of you.
Interesting.
Yeah, so what my target audience in that regard are just like people that you say, some people, just like say, some people don't like to go to the studio. They don't like to travel down to the studio. They feel like they don't have that confidence enough. So those kind of people that can't come to the studio, you don't have to come to the studio. I can photograph you wherever
Sorry
you are.
to cut you off. So you mean I can be in my home and then you take a picture of me?
Yes, you can be in your home and I take a picture of you. It's very easy and seamless. You don't even have to see my fine face.
I don't even have to come to the studio anymore.
You don't have to come to the studio. All I just do, I can connect through your phone and then I take high quality image of you. And I've been doing that since last year.
But is that more expensive than the normal photography?
Well, it depends. It depends, but
it depends on what factors are we talking about?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're outside the country,
okay,
that will definitely affect. But the currency and all of that, they are not the same. So if you're in the US, charging USD.
You're enjoying
in UK,
you're living the life.
Pounds. If you're in Nigeria, normally it's charging in Naira.
Okay.
I've been opportunity to do a shoot for someone in Abuja before, in the UK, in Canada, in US, like that. And one thing about remote photography is you have to be open-minded. I always tell my clients, you have to, because when you hear it, even some photographers do not really know about it, and when they hear about it, they'll be like, it's not something worth looking into. Do you understand? So, but we have looked into it.
You are making the money.
We know how it is, and it has. So it's for those people that feel like they are not confident enough. Even at that, we strike meaningful conversations, still ease them into it. For people that are open-minded, it's really something that they should look into as well.
Thank you. Yeah. That was great. Thank you so much. So my next question: how do you define visual presence in photography? And why is it so impactful and significant?
Yeah, so your picture goes everywhere faster than you, especially in the age of social media right now. So visual presence is you have a presence everywhere, online, physically, and everywhere. When they say that, they Mattifuse, they say, I know this guy. Is another guy that does personal branding photography, because they've been able to see me, in different spaces. It's encompassing. It's not just about taking pictures.
I was about to ask that.
Yes, it's encompassing. It's not just about taking pictures, but taking pictures that authentically shows who you are. Your clients, they want to see the face behind whoever is selling to them. Do you understand? So that's where visual presence comes in, on your social media, on your physical media, on everything. You just have to put yourself out there. Yeah. That's what it means to be visually present, to be able to put yourself out there. And how do you do that? Is by crafting a visual narrative that people will see, creating a perception That people will see and say that, yes, oh, this is the person I want to work with, or this is the person I would like to bring on my show. For example, before you can bring me to your show, there are certain things that you have seen.
Of course.
Do you understand? And that warrants you to be able to say, oh, I would like to bring this guy to my show. That is because I've been present over time, whether on social media, whether physically, you've been able to see what I'm able to offer and what I'm able to do.
And you have been consistent.
And I've been consistent, exactly. So it's consistency. So like I said, all encompassing. If you have social media and you're not consistent, people are not seeing you the way they're supposed to, then you are not maximizing your visual presence very well. So that's what it means to be visually present. Let them see you as who you are. Let them know that, yes, when I mention people like T.Y. Bello, you know who they are. Because they're visually present everywhere. When I'm talking top photographers now, Kelechi Amadiobi, creatives, they know him. When I mention Ibukun Awoshika, you know her because they are visually present. They are there. You can see that these people are there, and they worked over time to make sure that their presence or their image, and their perception is everywhere. Yes.
Thank you so much for that. So, Matthew, do you have a mantra that you live by?
Mantra. I have a Bible verse.
Okay, that's fine. Let's hear it.
So I believe that as Christians, we should be light. We should go into the world of darkness and transform everything into light. And the Bible says, arise and shine, for the light is come and the glory of the Lord is risen upon the Isaiah 60.
Hallelujah.
So that works for me. So anywhere I am, I cannot be in a place and that place is dull. Everybody will laugh and the lights. Do you understand? So and that is what it is to that's what it means to be a Christian. You have to, no matter who you are, you're a photographer, you're a videographer, you're supposed to spread the light of God everywhere you are. So if you're photographing with me, most people that photograph with me, they always like, I enjoy the session, this one and that one. Sometimes I make them laugh, just there's beauty in that. It's not because people are going through a lot. People are going through a lot, and you have to be that light that helps them to get away from whatever they are going through at that point. Another one is that I've also following is seest thou a man that is diligent in his work. It's not just about working, diligently doing it. It will sit before kings and not mere men. And that's why, like you say, consistency. I strive to be better at what I do every day. I try to also, network with people that I know that we can carry each other along. I'm somebody that likes to collaborate a lot, and I'm a people person, so I love to let's carry each other along. Let's be diligent. Let's do this thing, and then we'll find ourselves at the top. Yeah. So those are, working for me very, very fine, and I'm grateful to God for that.
Hi guys, now is the unfiltered segment of the show. I'll be asking Matthew here 3 questions, and you're expected to answer unapologetically and without holding back. You have to be as honest as you can. You cannot tell a lie.
This is putting me on the spot.
Yes. So my first question.
Let me warm up. Okay.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. So if you're given a choice to choose a superpower, what would it be and why?
Superpower, Clark Kent. Okay. I think it would be maybe reading minds.
Reading minds?
Yeah. So that not necessarily to know what people are saying about me or think about me, because I only care about what God think about me. But then,
okay.
Yeah. But just to listen to their thoughts and maybe for feedbacks, and I'll be like, okay, I can know what they are expecting or what they are saying, so I can work better at what is in their mind that they cannot actually tell me, or maybe they're afraid to tell me that this is how it should be, or this is how you're supposed to do certain thing. But how some people are afraid, like, or maybe not afraid, but they'll be like, well, I just don't want to put my mouth to, and all that. So I can just hear that thing that they're saying in their mind, and I'll be like, okay, they have a point here,
But that means you care about what people say about you.
Not in a bad way.
Okay, I think I can take that. Okay, my second question is, what are you most afraid of?
What am I most afraid of? As somebody that likes to, work, and then what I'm most afraid of would be that when I leave this world, I should not be remembered for anything. And that's why I'm consistently working hard so that I can have a legacy, a good legacy. So that when I eventually leave this world, they will say, oh, Matthew has been able to impact so life. Matthew has been able to do this. He has been able to do that, in a good way. Just helping people to rise to the occasion, helping people to see the light of God in whatever that I do. Whatever that I do, whether it's teaching, whether it's singing, whether it's photographing, do you understand? To be able to say that, for people to be able to say that this guy has actually changed my life in the positive, and he's the one that made me see that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah.
Okay, that can pass. So my last question for this segment: can you recollect how many people you've photographed?
That's a dicey question, because, but I know that I can say that I've photographed more than, with events and everything, right?
Yes. Is it up to 1,000?
No, it's not up to 1,000. But I know that it's more than 100. It's more than 100 if you count it like that. But then it's not up to. I don't think it's up to 1,000. But if you're counting that I shoot people in events and all of that, it could be. But normal portraits, I don't think it's up to 1,000. But if you're counting that I shoot events, there are always many people at events and all of that. It could be up to 1,000.
Thank you so much. This has been an awesome conversation, Matthew.
Thank
you so much for coming on the show. So for those people who want to connect with you, find you, where can they find you on socials?
For those that want to connect with me, okay, so on Instagram, the Matthew Studios. I have some branches of the Matthew Studios. I have Pro Branding Africa. That's where I do more of my personal branding and all that. So you can follow me on the Matthew Studios, Pro Branding Africa, and then my personal page, Matthew Fears. And then on LinkedIn as well, just Matthew Odedele. You see me there. On Twitter as well, Matthew Fears. So yeah, those are the places that you can find me. And then, if you're looking forward to work with me as well, you can find me there.
Please do well to follow Matthew and make sure you give him a call, work with him. He's an amazing photographer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Before I go, I want to say something about the host. I just want to say that like you said, we're friends for over a decade, and she is one of those persons that have inspired me a lot.
Oh my God.
Inspired me a lot. I'm not saying this to flatter her. I've said it in her face. To her face, all the time. She helps me to be better. Just looking at how she runs her business and all of that. And I'm just like, if Princess can do it, I can also do it. So she inspires me a lot. And I'm sure most of our friends can also testify to how she has also, inspired them in different ways. And I just want to say kudos to you. This is a very huge milestone, to start. And it's just a starting point, and that destination that you're looking to get, you're going to get there in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hi guys, we've come to the end of the show. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. And don't forget to turn on your post notifications so that you know when every episode drops. Thank you. See you next episode. This episode was sponsored by Perfect Blend. Perfect Blend is a perfect spot for your fresh and healthy meals. They have banana bread, parfait, and smoothie. You can contact them on Instagram at perfectblend_ng for your banana bread parfait and smoothie. And also to mention Johnson Print. Johnson Print is the one behind these cups and every other merch that we have on the studio. Thank you for supporting us. We really appreciate you.